What is going on, everyone? Today, I'm going to talk about what 5-star characters that I consider a must-pull character. Now, there are some characters that I'm going to talk about that I don't have, but that's because I was getting used to playing this game, so I didn't summon particular characters. Just, again, I didn't know how I wanted to play the game. Now, I am a free-to-play player. I haven't spent any money on this game, so I'm never going to have every single character in this game. It's just not going to happen. But I want to talk about everyone and their respective roles and what they do to, and why I think some of these characters are just like, you have to have them on your account. You have to. Now, first we're going to talk about the regular banner characters, the ones that will always be in the game, the ones that you will lose your 50-50s to. So let's get into those guys first. So first and foremost, we have Welt. I think Welt is very, very he's not talked about enough. Okay, Welt can slow your characters or slow your enemies. He can have them snared and slow them and make them lose turns. I think Welt is a very, very, very great character. So if you are losing your 50-50 and you lose it to Welt, that's pretty damn good. Now, will I consider him a must-have character? Absolutely not, but I do think he's phenomenal. Now we're going to move on to Bronya. We're going to kind of go through kind of fast because there's a decent amount of 5-star characters. Now let's talk about Bronya. If you lose your 50-50 to Bronya, that is the biggest W of all of the characters that you can potentially lose to. And the reason why is all Harmony characters are amazing because they increase the value of your characters. Now, Bronya, she makes your character jump ahead of everyone and attack. And if you have her light cone, she can also give you a skill point in that. Whenever she does her ultimate, you can get another skill point in that, and she increases all of your crit damage on your team. She's phenomenal. Out of all of the standard characters, I think Bronya is probably the best one. Now, a must character on your account, with all of the Harmony characters that have been a part of this game, I mean, Sparkle's way better than she is. Ruan Mei is way better than she is. Tinyon is really good as well. Now Bronya is really good, but out of her respected category, she's top 3, right? Let's say 1, 2, 3, and then with someone like Robin coming out, who can do exactly what Bronya can do, she kind of drops in her value a lot, but she is still a very phenomenal character. Now we have Gepard. We have your preservation character. When he first came out, of course, he was extremely wonderful, and we all loved him. Now he's been topped by Adventuring. So again, must have on your team. He's good to have, but with everyone else on this list, as far as your 5 stars, he's not as needed. Topaz and Numby, I think they may have points where they're better over time. Of course, just the way that you use them, single target follow-up damage, that's just kind of what they excel in. It's not anything super crazy to rave about. It is kind of cool in a way. Oh, sorry, I think I kind of messed my order up. I think I just started to go into what I have here, but we'll go back to our other characters in a second. But Topaz and Numby, definitely not a must-have. They get better with people like Genuine, or the General, Mid-Yuan, and just other people that just, you know, are great with follow-up attacks. We have someone like, where's he at? If we go to Preservation, Adventuring, you know, another follow-up person. It makes her worth having, but she's not a must-pull. Now, let me find these other standard characters because I do not have them. Herta, I think Himiko, I think she's phenomenal. I mean, she's really, really good for pure fiction. So she's really good. I'd say she's probably the second best. Maybe you can go back and forth between her and Clara. You know, Clara is also really good when it comes to 5 stars on the standard banner. So if you lose to her or Himiko, you know, it's a pretty solid win. Now we have the person that everyone despises. Okay, if you lose your 50-50 to him, you're not going to be happy, right? And rightfully so. He's not remotely good. Okay, just what he does, what he provides to the team, it's just not good anymore. And then we have our last 5-star from the limited, or the standard banner characters. You have Bailu, which is Abundance character. She's not even close to the best one in her own category. We have 4 stars like Lynx and Gallagher that are both better than her. I mean, the only person that she's better than is Natasha in this category. But, you know, Bailu, you have no cleanse. You do have revive, which is cool, but why do you need to revive someone if you're out damaging everything and blowing everything apart? So, revival mechanic is cool, but who cares, right? Who really cares? All right, now let's get back to the topic at hand. I think we're just going to talk about per category, and then we'll leave it at that. So we'll start here in the destruction category. And I will say Jing Liu is by far the greatest unit out of all of the destruction characters. I would definitely consider Jing Liu a must pull. Just, she's very easy to build because whenever she goes into her sicko mode, she gets increased crit rate. So you don't have to build a lot of crit rate in her, which means you can easily make more crit damage for her. So she's very easy to build, and she does a crazy amount of damage. Now we have Daniel the Dragon. I think he's a phenomenal character. I wouldn't say he's a must pull unless you have Sparkle, because what Sparkle does is she gives you more skill points, and Daniel the Dragon is the most skill point hungry character in the game. Now with that being said, if you have Sparkle, I'd say he's a must pull. But if you're just talking about him and you just have regular characters, I don't think he's going to be, you know, he's not going to be as good as a Jing Liu. It's just not going to happen. It's just not worth it. And then we go to Mr. Blade. Blade is also a very good character. He's dropped in value, of course. I'd say if you have someone like Luocha, that makes Blade a lot better, but you know, he's still really good. Like, he can still self-sustain and blah 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 blah, but I think he needs that support from a Luocha to be much better. Okay, now let's switch over to our hunt characters. Now I will say none of these hunt characters are must pulls, none of them at all. Dr. Ratio, they gave us him for free. He's great, but I don't think you actually need him on your account. Zila, she's dropped in value, where we have 4-star characters who are doing way more damage than her. Someone like QQ, we have 4 stars who are more valuable. Someone like Herta. Just the way that the game is gone, Zila is really great on single target damage, but the game is kind of shifting to an AoE character. You need AoE characters, so she lost that value. And then now let's go to Erudition. I would also say none of these guys are must pulls. Again, we already spoke about Himiko a little bit. She's really good in pure fiction. If you have her and Herta together, they're both hitting all their follow-up attacks, and you know, it's AoE damage and stuff. So they're a very great combo together, just in case you didn't know that. But Mid Yuan, he's just not as good as he used to be. Now, if you pair him up with other characters that make his follow-up attack stronger, yeah, he's a lot better, but I don't think you would need him on this account. as we go to other characters in the nihility category that are also electric or thunder or whatever the fuck it is. Now, Argenti, wonderful character if you're going against physical. I think he's great in that realm, but outside of that, I think he can easily be looked over. But again, that's just my personal opinion. Now, this is where a lot of our must pulls will come into play here, because I personally think harmony characters are the most important characters in the game, because I like to play with a lot of damage, and I know a lot of other people also like to play with a lot of damage as well. And this is where you're getting your damage from, or these characters that can boost your damage. Now, we talk about someone like Ruan Mei. Now, I think Ruan Mei is the must pull of all pulls in this entire game as of right now. She increases your damage, she increases your break effect, she increases your res pin. If you use her talent before the fight, whatever character you use, it will be that element. Ruan Mei is just broken. So if you get the opportunity to pull her, I would say do it. She's by far, in my opinion, the best character in the entire game. Now, we have Sparkle. I could also argue that Sparkle is also a must pull, because she also increases your damage and she gives you more skill points. Sparkle is an all-around phenomenal character too. I would also argue and say that she is a must pull character too. Now, in the nihility category, we have Acheron. Obviously, if you've just started this game, you may not understand why I said obviously, but Acheron is the strongest character in this game, and the way her ultimate works is not feeding off of a gauge that you need to fill up, but instead scaling off of debuffs that the enemies get, and that makes her get her ultimate, and it makes her just attack better. If you're using someone like Pela, who can shred the defense, and then you can absolutely shred them with Acheron. Now, another reason why Acheron is a must pull, because she will never not be valuable. The more nihility characters come out, the more debuffing characters, I don't want to just say nihility, but the more characters that can debuff, the better she becomes, right? So if you can create a whole team full of people who can debuff, if you have someone who has a shield who can also debuff, if you have a healer that can debuff, if you just have another nihility character, because that's also how she scales on her damage, she's just always going to be good. So when she comes back, I would recommend you pull her and you get as many copies as you can, because, well, let's just say try and get her E2. I don't want to say go all the way out and get her E6. Now, obviously that would be the goal, but if you're a free-to-play player like me, you definitely want to be a lot smarter about how you use your characters, or how you use your summons and blah blah blah. But Acheron is a must pull. If you do not have her, you must have her. She's the best character in the game, and like I said, she's never gonna get bad. Now we have someone like Kafka. Again, I personally would argue and say Kafka's a must pull, right along with Black Swan. Now, this is due to the style that I play, so I may be a little biased on the situation, but Kafka is an enabler to so just like Acheron works with debuffs, Kafka is the same way with dot damage, and dot is damage over time. So if you don't know what that is, that's what that is. That's bleed damage, that's your wind shear, that's your fire damage, that's your what she is, that's her electric damage as well. So the more characters that come out, that do dot damage, Kafka will always be relevant. She does amazing damage. She's somewhat easy to build too. Again, I think she is a must pull. And I know some people will argue that Black Swan isn't, but in the current meta right now with Acheron, she is. I think over time, maybe she won't be as big or as important, but right now she is. Now, if you can make a team with Black Swan and Acheron and Kafka, I mean, you're beating everything in the game. I also skipped over Silverwolf. Silverwolf used to be a must pull because you could easily clear MOC with her. Now she does help somewhat, but being that she does single target damage, it lowers her value tremendously. Okay, now again, when she came out and for about a month after her release, she was amazing. Best character in the game, arguably so. Again, that's just my take on the situation. But again, with a lot of the way that the game is flowing now, where they're not surrounding the game around single target damage, she loses her value. I mean, she's not as good as what she used to be. Now pairing her up with Acheron as well, because of course she's the best debuffer in the game by far. And if it was AoE damage, she'd be broken and she'd be a must pull. But when you can use someone like Pela, who can defense shred and hit everyone, versus what she can do, she can lower attack, she can lower defense, which is really good, but she can only do it on single target characters. So it is what it is. Now again, I wouldn't say she's a must pull. Now preservation characters, we're gonna go right into Fushuan, and I will say Fushuan is a must pull character. She can heal you, she can increase your damage, she can mitigate the damage and take it all to herself. She's just a phenomenal character. I'd say she's, I don't know, I'd arguably say, I don't know who I would say is better, either her or Ruan Mei. That's a really tough call. They're both absolutely phenomenal, but I would say Fushuan is a must pull. She's very easy to build, and again, she provides so much for your team, and I think she's going to be really strong for a very long time. Obviously, at some point, she will get surpassed by someone, because that's just kind of how the game works. If they're not surpassing these characters, the game's not going to make money. They have to do it. But right now, Fushuan is one of the best characters in the game. Aventurine, or Aventurine, I keep on putting a D in the middle of it, but Aventurine, I think he's a great character. Obviously, he just took out Gepard and what Gepard could do and made it a lot better. Added damage boost, and you can run infinite shields. He's really good, really good, but a must pull, I don't think so. Personally, I do not think so. And now let's go down to our last category in abundance. Luocha, I know he's lost his value in terms of healing when it comes to being a hybrid character, because you have people like Ho who came out who can not only heal you, but she can also increase damage, and she could also give you energy. I think that's what she does. And he's so one-sided where he just heals, and that's all that happens. But his auto healing feature is fucking crazy. Okay, I would still consider Luocha a must pull. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't anymore, but I personally still will, because I think that auto heal is just so phenomenal. Okay, now we switch over to someone like Ho. I would say she's still a must pull too. I think abundance characters are also extremely important in the game, because you want to keep your characters healed up, right? Now, if you have a character that can heal you, increase your damage, increase your energy, I mean, what more do you want? What more can you ask for? Her to do a lot of damage, probably, and then she would be broken. Obviously, a character's gonna, at some point, will come out like that, but I think she's a phenomenal healer. And again, I think she's a must pull just for that reason. So now just a quick little sum up. We're gonna count how many people that I personally think are must pull, and you guys let me know who you guys think are must pulls. So starting here, we have Jing Liu. That's one. None of these guys. Then we have 2 and 3 with Ruan Mei and Sparkle. You could consider Bronya 1, but with these two, it's no, not really. Now we have Nihility, we have Acheron, we have Kafka, and I'm gonna consider Black Swan, so that would be 6. Preservation, we have Fu Xuan, that would be 7, and then we have 8 and 9. Now I know that's a lot of characters. I know it is. Trust me, I know. But if we want to say top 3, like top 3, I would definitely say Fu Xuan, I would say Ruan Mei, and then I would say Acheron. Those are the top 3 characters that I would say you have to have. The other ones, you know, I'm kind of biased on, but those 3 definitely. When they come around, I know Fu Xuan's coming up next. If you have the currency, and I'm not talking like financially to buy it, this is more towards people who are free to play, or if you're just new to the game and maybe you are spending money, definitely pick up Fu Xuan. Now guys, I know it's kind of a long-winded video, it's me yapping for a while, but I appreciate you guys for watching. You guys let me know what you guys think down below. Who are your most must pull characters? Let me know if they're different from mine. Let me know if they're the same as mine. But again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.